All right, guys, it's Justin here from the Short Straw. Welcome to the live stream. We've got a very special guest with us, Alex Michael from Conspiracy Music Guru. I'm just going to read a bio from his website, and you can find his website at conspiracymusicguru.com. Conspiracy Music Guru exposes the world's greatest deceptions with lyrics that inform them and teach, and together with an understanding of the power of 432 Hz, his music delivers a natural vibration which has had a profound impact resonance with the fans. Conscious music is what the Conspiracy Music Guru is all about. Alex Michael, a multi-instrumentalist and music producer, is the mastermind behind Conspiracy Music Guru and is as passionate about truth as he is about music. His music is diverse, covering musical genres from comedic, country, with the popular character, the album Flat Earth Man, to instrumental healing music with his album True Solfeggio Volume 1 and Volume 2. His latest album entitled Black Sheep utilises rock, while the album Unplug has a more natural, softer acoustic sound to convey the truth-filled messages. Alex, thank you for joining, brother.
You're welcome, Justin. How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on.
Man. Very good. No, thank you for coming on. Tell the audience a bit about yourself, man.
Well, the bio kind of sums it up, really. You know, I've been very musical since about the age of 4, playing the piano. I came from a musical family, and I did my first gig when I was about 8 years old, playing piano in an old people's home, and did the gigs and played guitar and sang, and I was a DJ, I was a karaoke compere and all that. I did the normal jobs, the stacking shelves in a supermarket, and I was a cabinet maker and all those sort of things. I hated the idea of being told what to do for a living, and clocking in and clocking out and being subject to somebody else's timetable and all that sort of stuff. And I always wanted to make a living out of making music, whatever that would be. I made ringtones and I was a DJ, and I just did that. And I got into truth about 2012. Really, 9/11 I think was the catalyst that got me into that. And at that point, I had enough musical ability to start putting that sort of stuff that I was learning into music production. So sort of by 2016 and 2017, I had a little studio, and I was getting quite competent on the guitar and production software. And I was no more making those love songs anymore or cover versions. I was putting truth and singing about these profound things that I'd stumbled across. And that was 2017. I think I wrote my first song, and now we're here. We're 2026 now. I'm on my 7th album, and there's quite a vast range of styles that I do. I'm not pigeonholed into a genre. I'm not signed to a label, so I have the freedom to explore whatever I want to do musically. I've done comedic country stuff, I've done rock, I've done some chilled stuff, I've done some solfeggio healing music and sort of MTV Unplugged acoustic stuff. I've done a lot of live stuff on my channel and done some rap and some reggae, and I've pretty much covered it all. And I want to do more. I want to explore lots of different sounds and that. So it's just my evolution, really, as an artist, I suppose. It's just my thoughts in music form. I use music to communicate. I've got these things in my head. I've realized that the world doesn't work the way we're told it works. We don't live in where we're told we live. And all these things are profound understandings for me. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to put this into a song. And that's kind of what I've been doing since 2017 now. So it's 9 years now I've been doing that. Conscious music, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, man. I've pretty much been following you from the beginning, just about, and yeah, big fan of the music. It's very good for the people, man. And it's funny that you say 9/11 was the epiphany that sort of led you down the road of speaking the truth, because I had the same thing, man. That was one of those things. Like, I was very young when it happened, but through the years I dove deep into looking into how that happened, and I just realised the truth around that. And I think a lot of people are on that same boat, man.
Yeah, because I had no idea that lies on that scale were possible. Like, there's no way they lied about that. No way. How can they pull that off? Of course, when you start digging, you realise, right, I see how it works now. This is spiritual war. At the time I was looking into it, I was an atheist and living a very atheistic lifestyle. Sex, drugs, and karaoke and all that, and I had yeah, it was, yeah, very, very atheistic, very selfish. Like, and then when you start looking at that information, it kind of changes your whole outlook on life, and you start to. I don't know if 9/11 got me into the idea of a creator, but I'm
Mm.
a creationist now, but I don't know what God is. I don't know what any of that is. I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. I just see the bigger picture now, and I see creation and I see evil. I can smell the evil in the room. I can see it. I see it. I see it everywhere. 9/11 was a really good example of that, and like opened my mind to the bigger deception in the world. And of course, it continues when you start looking at everyology, cosmology, biology, geology, all of that. It's like we've been lied to about so much, and these are profound understandings that I've tried to put into music so people can get on the same page. I'm no expert on any of these ologies, but I know enough bullet points to be able to make a catchy chorus and a decent verse to make people go, oh, I never considered that. It's basically just try and instill a bit of critical thought, really, in people using music to do that.
Yeah, it's funny. The ologies are pretty hard to delete, from your mind once you've learned from a young age as well. Breaking away from that and deleting what you learned back in the day can be difficult for many.
Yeah, but there was that. Who was it that said you must unlearn what you have learned? Maybe that was Star Wars or something like that. I don't know, but it's so true. You've got to start from the beginning. And in many interviews, I've said, I feel like a 9 or 10-year-old boy because I've just had to start learning again. It's like the whole world doesn't work as the way I thought it works. It's like, it's a completely new understanding, and it's quite refreshing actually because I feel like I'm actually learning something of worth now. All of that crap that I learned in school about cosmology, virology, but like all the ologies, you just have to reset the whole thing. You're like, that was all crap. That was all bullshit. So it's kind of nice in a way. And I feel excited. I was never excited at school. I was just easily distracted. Just couldn't sit still. They probably would have put me on medication if it was today. But there's a reason why I couldn't stick, why I was bored, why I was tuning out, because none of it resonated. But this stuff does resonate with me because I know it's truth, and truth resonates.
Yeah, that's one of the things too that, once you do realise and start deleting those memories and you start going down, you can go down the rabbit holes really quickly. And at the same time, you don't want that to absorb you. I found myself going down rabbit holes and you find this anger, you find this anger within you because you're like, well, we're getting lied to so much. Every corner you look at is just lies, man. And it's hard to accept.
It is. You have to do your sort of, the shadow work or your dark night of the soul, and you have to realize, oh crap, this place sucks, man. And then it's a challenge to sort of get to the point where you can zoom out enough and keep it at arm's length and try not to let it, try not to give them that loose energy, which is how this place seems to work. There seems to be a reason why they put us all in states of fear. So it's about me zooming out and backing away from it and trying not to give them that kind of energy. But I wouldn't change it for the world, though. I would rather have this mindset, realizing I'm in a bad place and what can I do about it, rather than being blissfully ignorant and unaware, because I don't think many truthers have myocarditis. Let's put it that way.
Do you want to explain a bit the Solfeggio, 432 hertz, if people don't know?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's a big topic. I stumbled across the idea of the music manipulation in sort of 2013. I think it's like once you start realizing they've lied about this, they've lied about that, they poison the air, they poison the food, all the information, the education, the medical system, all poison. And then, the idea someone presents the idea that maybe the music is poison as well. You're like, oh, of course, it's the one thing that we absolutely love and enjoy. Why wouldn't they poison that? So I was open-minded to it. And then you start to look at the history of the tuning note standard and the Rockefeller funding behind this particular frequency that they put forward as the tuning, that the 440 hertz, which what all of our music is in. And I've said before in many an interview, I believe 440 hertz is like the fluoride of the music industry. Causes dis-ease and discomfort, and you only have to look at it cymatically, the difference between 432 hertz and 440 hertz cymatically. It goes a lot deeper than that, but there's so much. It's one of the things, if you start Googling it, Google's going to give it all the propaganda and telling you, oh no, 432 hertz is just a crazy conspiracy theory, you silly silly idiot. You know, of course, there's no nefarious goings on there with that, but there is. And so I thought I would, you know, take the 4/3 hertz. So I thought I would start making my music in 4/3/2 hertz to see what effect that would have. And then I stumbled across the solfeggio, so-called healing frequencies, these ancient healing frequencies that are said to come from the Gregorian chants. And there's a lot of misinformation about the solfeggio healing frequencies as well. So there was one guy that was saying, oh, these modern solfeggio frequencies that you see all over YouTube, it's all rubbish, it's all disinformation. What you want is these particular frequencies. These are the true solfeggio healing frequencies. And I really like the guy. I really resonated with him, and just his energy seemed to be pure. His channel undoubtedly censored. So I'm like, I'm on the right track here. So I took the frequencies that he was talking about and started to build instrumental tracks around these healing frequencies. So I would infuse the music with these frequencies, embed them into the song, and make a song around it. And I put the album out and sort of sat back to see what effect it would have. And then people started messaging me, say that they had these profound healing effects or even profound spiritual effects with it. So it was like my own musical experiment, really. It was testable, observable, and repeatable. You know, so when I sat back and started getting all this feedback that I didn't even ask for, people were just messaging me on Facebook or emailing me saying, "You'll never guess what happened when I listened to this album. You know, my children were calm. They're never calm. I put this album on instantly. It calmed them. My dogs also. They're normally going crazy on fireworks night. I put the music. They were calm. Or like my PTSD had gone away. I'm like, one girl, she had sleep paralysis. It cured her of that." I've got a page on my website that's all the reviews and testimonials. It's just like there must be 100 of them now, and it's continually growing, of all these profound effects that this music seems to be having. So I think there's something to it. I think if you was to put music in the right frequency and put the right frequencies in the music and with the right intent and do it for the right reasons, which is what our music industry is not. It's all about bad intent and guns and hoes and gun culture and drug culture and, you know, Cardi B singing about a vagina and whatever. And all of course, done with the wrong intent and the wrong frequencies. I'm trying to do the polar opposite of that. And it seems I'm having success with it, but on a limited scale because of the censorship.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've been watching for nearly when you started, and I've definitely noticed this mother of YouTube. You know, they pretty much shadow ban you. You know, you really have to key in your full name to be able to search you up on YouTube. Like, they're restricting your content. You know, but I do feel like down the track you will break through that, or you are slowly breaking through that. And yeah, I don't know. Time will tell, man. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't really know what to do. Like I said before we came on, it's like a constant kick in the nuts, man, because, you know, you put your heart and soul into something, you know, only to watch your subscribers go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, up to 80,000 now on YouTube. And my views going down and down and down and down and down. It's like, and people being magically unsubscribed and their notifications are on, but they don't get the notifications. And, you know, I put a video out to 80,000 people and like 1,000 people will watch it. So it's something very curious about that. You start to, you know, analyze all the analytics, and you start looking at other platforms like Facebook. I've got 43,000 followers on Facebook. I put a post out there and I get 3 or 4 reactions, likes, 1 comment. It's like, how is that possible? And then you look at Twitter and X. I started putting videos on there. My first video, when I had 2,000 followers, got 20,000 views. I thought, maybe X is the platform. Maybe it is an uncensored platform that people are talking about. But the more videos I put on there, I'm now at 4,000. I'm at double the followers now on there. When I put a video on there, I'm lucky if I get 200 views on it. So it's like my name is mud on the internet. If you type conspiracy music guru into Google, you won't find my website. You have to actually type the URL in. You'll find some stuff on Spotify and that, but Spotify will bastardize my music. You know, they will compress it, so they're not ideal, and Apple iTunes and that. But you won't find my website. So I don't know whether I'm going to break through those algorithms. I don't know what can change. I don't know how to. I've tried everything. I've tried every platform. I've tried the Rumbles and the BitChutes, these so-called free speech platforms, but they're like graveyards over there. So I don't really know what to do. There's so many times I thought of just giving up and going, you know, just go and do some, you know, cover songs and that, because the channels that just do cover songs, they get millions and millions of views. So you know, it's very frustrating because my heart won't allow me to do anything else, but the algorithms are trying to push me to do something else. But so it's very frustrating. I do hope I break through, but at the moment it's impossible to get seen.
Yeah, I think about 5 years ago, a lot of the truth speakers that I was following on YouTube got wiped from YouTube, and at the same time, I was kind of expecting yours to get wiped in amongst them, but they're all coming back now. So all they're getting their channels back and everything. So maybe there is a shift. Maybe the pendulum will swing, but I don't know, man. Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, I've had videos removed, and because of medical misinformation, I've had stuff taken down from Spotify, banned from this and banned from Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. And there was a time when you typed "Flat Earth Man" into Google, into YouTube, and wasn't coming up at all. But I did that the other day and typed in "Flat Earth Man" and all my stuff's there. So that's good. I think it's very far from where I need to be, but if I was getting views, if I was getting noticed, if I was getting exposure, then I would be selling albums, and I'm just not. So because people will say, well, maybe you're getting more views, they're just showing you that you're not getting views, and I'm like, no, I'm definitely not getting. I think it's the other way around. I think that even if they show that I've got 2,000 views, it's probably more like 200. Because the album, I'm just not getting any streams. I'm not getting. It's just people like Spotify are now favoring AI artists now because they don't have to pay any copyright or any royalties or anything like that. So I don't know where it's going to go, man. I don't know where it's going to and how I could survive financially by doing this kind of stuff. I don't think I can currently, but I hope that changes.
Yeah. Do you think there is a way of so 432 hertz and 440 hertz? Can you explain the difference between those?
Well, 8 hertz. There's like 8 hertz difference. I mean, the change is so minute that you wouldn't notice it. But if you put them side by side and played a 432 to someone, then played 440 would sound sharp. 440 does sound sharper. It sounds more aggressive. You listen to a rock album in 440 hertz, you're going to feel tighter after. I think there's a reason why our teenagers are so grumpy and moody, because they're listening to Metallica or whatever, name your band, in 440 hertz. So, I mean, the difference is 8 hertz, but that makes a huge difference when you start getting into the numerology of it all and start to actually look at the frequencies that are coming out of a piano once it's tuned to 440. All your perfect fifths are fractured. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's hard to explain it without the visuals. But even that, it's a slight difference in tuning. I think it has quite a profound effect on health. I think the future of medicine should be sound and music. And I think if all the music was tuned to 432 hertz, which seems to have a relationship with the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and nature in general, if all of our music was tuned like that, every music that you listen to, the whole charts, and with the right intent and with the right lyrical content, we'd be looking at a different landscape when it comes to health and well-being. But we don't have that. There's a reason why there's so much illness and dis-ease. It's dis-ease. This is what 440 hertz can do, in my opinion. Look at it cymatically. That will give you a big clue.
Yeah, I've always looked at that with the, all the mainstream music and stuff like that. It creates, mental unstableness. It creates anxiety, depression, everything like that. There's so much to the frequencies that we have no idea about. That needs to be spoken a lot more. And I just think people are oblivious of it.
Yeah, I mean, the proof's in the pudding for me. If you start making music in the right frequency, which I do believe is 432 hertz, and you start to infuse solfeggio healing frequencies into it, and just sit back and watch what can happen in terms of people's health. If people want to go to conspiracymusicguru.com and go click on the reviews, go and see what the kind of effect that this music does have. I'm not saying I'm the one that's doing it correctly and everyone else is doing it wrong. I'm still experimenting, but all I can say is that I'm having these testimonials come at me, and these people are having profound healing effects or spiritual effects when the music is tuned to 432 and it's infused with these true solfeggio healing frequencies, which is why I called the albums True Solfeggio, because there's a lot of solfeggio misinformation out there. So, I mean, try it, give it a listen for yourself, and immerse yourself in the music as well. This is one thing people don't do. They don't listen to music anymore. There were times where we used to go out and buy an album, and it used to be a whole experience, and you'd go home, put the headphones on, and just lie there and listen to the music and immerse yourself in it. People don't do that anymore. They have it on in the car or while they're working. They don't actually sit with some good quality headphones with uncompressed music. That's the other thing. People are listening to Spotify. all compressed music, iTunes, all compressed, YouTube, they compress it. And when you compress an audio file, it takes away, it removes 90% of the audio information. So you're listening to a really compressed and bastardized with all of this audio information removed. So if I make something in the studio and put it on Spotify, you're not listening to how it should sound in my studio. You're listening to a bastardized version of that. And Spotify are great at bastardizing music. All of these streaming platforms are great at bastardizing music. So if you're going to listen to the solfeggio stuff or healing music, go to my website and download the uncompressed WAV files. And then immerse yourself in the music. Turn off all distractions. Shut your eyes. Put some headphones on, good quality headphones, and just sit there in the dark and listen to it and see what happens.
Yeah, so people can also grab your hard copy CD as well. Yeah, so I've got one of my own.
Yeah, that's quite an amusing album. Yeah, and again, the CDs are not compressed, so they are fully uncompressed. So you'll get the full sound of how I intend it to sound from the studio here, rather than listening to it on a streaming platform and then listening to like literally 90% of the audio information has been removed. So yeah, I would never. I try and stay away from MP3s and all of that stuff. I want it to be full quality. I want people to have the full experience and have 100% of the audio information in there.
Yeah. If anyone in the live chat has any questions, I will put them up, so go for it.
Yes.
So you play your own instruments, is that right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I don't read music. I never had any lessons or anything like that. In fact, I'm quite disabled when it comes to looking at music in sheet form or tabs. I look at it and it looks like Korean to me or Japanese. I'm like, what the? It just scares me. I don't even like reading books. I hate black text on white paper. It's just so uninteresting to me. I'm more of a visual learner, and if I was to buy, some equipment from Amazon, I'd throw the manual away immediately. I want to figure it out myself. I want to figure everything out myself. I don't want anybody telling me how. And I've been the same with music. Oh, if you give me a violin or something and lock me in a room for 7 days, I'll get you something out of it, without a manual or whatever, without any sheets of music or anything. And I've been the same with guitars. I've got about 20 of them here. And I just like to figure it out myself. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I don't even know what chords I'm playing. People message me saying, can you give me the chords for that song? And I'm like, I don't even know the chords. I just put my fingers in this place on the neck and it sounds nice. I've got a really good ear, but when it comes to actually telling people what chords, whether it's a seventh, ninth, seventh, I just don't understand any of that. So yeah, I play guitar, a bit of bass, I sing, I play some piano, some drums, some harmonica, but I'm no virtuoso on any of these instruments. I just do it to a level of competence, which is enough to be able to have all the ingredients to put into a song. And I put that and I just fiddle about with it till it sounds good. And of course, the lyrics convey a message of truth like 99% of the time. So yeah, I'm very fortunate and blessed that I'm able to put my feelings into music because it's therapy for me as well. I've said before, I don't need a therapist. I need a microphone. If I'm angry, I'll get into the studio and I'll shout, "I told you so," and I will just shout, and then an album pops out. It's quite nice, really. So it's nice to get this stuff out in some way, rather than burdening my wife with, "Hey, do you know what's going on?" I'll go to the studio and get it out that way. So yeah, I can pick up a guitar and play something soulful or chilled or hard rock if I want to. I've got the guitars for that, and so yeah, it's I'm no virtuoso and I can't read music. I'm completely self-taught with all of these instruments.
Well, man, that's very interesting. Well, we've got a message from Kill the Hive Mind. What music does Alex listen to now, or does he avoid altogether, like myself?
I avoid it altogether. I try to avoid. Of course, like you go into a supermarket and there's music on there, or you walk past a bar or whatever. You're going for a drink, there's music. You can't avoid it completely, but I try to, because I know now how devilish, how demonic the music is in terms of so many things, in terms of the intent, the bastardization, the compression, the frequency, the intent, all of that sort of stuff. So I know that how evil it is and where all these bands came from. It's all, social engineering and mind control as far as I'm concerned. So I do try and avoid it. And I try not to be influenced. Of course, I have my influences from back in the day when I used to listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eric Clapton or Steve Vai or these guitarists that I love. So some of the bends or the licks in my solfeggio series, they sound a little bit Pink Floyd or Eric Clapton. So you can't avoid those kind of influences. But now I just see the music industry and all the music, I just see it for what it is. It's just this, it's so awful. It's so awful. So I cringe. If I sit in the car and the radio comes on, I cringe. I just go straight for the off button. Oh, you froze, dude. What happened? Are you there? Bro, you froze. What happened, man? What happened? We're back.
Well, yeah, that was interesting.
Well, it's not the first time that's happened to me.
Yeah, just once we're talking about the truth, just cut us off.
Well, it's not the first. Yeah, that happens a lot. So I don't know. It's hard not to get conspiratorial and paranoid at this point, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't worry, mate. We're on to them. We know what they're up to.
You will not win. You will not win. I thought it was my connection because I've been having internet troubles the last few days. I had the guy come round yesterday and sort it out. I thought, I wonder if it's that. And then I checked my connection and it's fine. Is it your connection or is it just the Weaver?
I don't know. I've been testing this out all day and haven't had an issue. So I don't know.
Isn't that funny? Eh? You know, it's hard not to be, you know. Like
yeah. Think about it, guys. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be talking about healing people on YouTube. No way.
No, don't do that. It doesn't help Big Pharma.
No.
So, Alex, do you think the Earth is flat? What's your perspective on that?
Well, I think the Earth is not a globe. I mean,
yeah.
I don't like to use the term flat Earth because flat is not a shape. It's a description of a surface. Now, if the Earth is a globe, that requires curvature. And there's flat earthers, there's hundreds of them that have gone out. You could measure it, you know, over 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. That's like a 6 or 7 story building. So you shouldn't be able to see a person that's 6 foot across a 10-mile lake. You shouldn't be able to see it. Should be 66 feet. And there's thousands of these experiments. So if there's curvature, it should be there, but it doesn't seem to be there. So no curve, no globe. What shape is the Earth? I don't know. No idea. But water presents itself as flat. It's you can't have curvy water. You can't have bendy water. All large bodies of water at rest will be level. Any plumber will tell you that, you know, water finds its own level. So yes, there's topography to the land. There's hills, there's valleys, and that. But if we can't find curvature on a lake or on an ocean, then what are we on? Is it an infinite plane? I don't know. Are we enclosed? Certainly. Otherwise, we wouldn't have air pressure. We have pressure. You know, that requires a container. I'm no expert, but I know the bullet points enough to put them into a song. And it seems where, you know, we're told lies about where we live as well. Because it's the most profound truth about where you are, who you are, what you are. If they can remove that from you, then you have no idea where you are. Most people have no idea where they are. They think they're this infinite speck of nothingness, wobbling and tilting and spinning on this rock, this water-covered rock, impossible, this pseudoscience rock of water, just like zooming round the sun at 66,600 miles and blasting through the cosmos at millions of miles an hour. It's utterly ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was going to be my, you know, sort of touched on my next question. Why do you think they lie about going to space?
Well, there's so many. There's a spiritual answer to that, and there's a financial answer. There's a lot of answers to that. You can't really, you know, sum it up in a 10-second soundbite. But if you talk about something that everybody can understand, which is money, the space industry is combined. They make more than the music industry, the video game industry, the movie industry combined. NASA alone gets like $70 million every day, and all we get is cartoons. So there's a massive, you know, why do people lie? Well, money. Money's a really good, incentive to lie. Are they all in on it? No, most people at NASA have no idea they're involved in a cult. Like most of the people in Scientology, they won't admit it's a cult. They think they're doing good for humanity. And it's like NASA to me is like Scientology on steroids. Scientology have this Xenu character that came from outer space and all that. It's like, it's no difference. Like, and Ron L. Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, was very instrumental in the foundations of NASA. Okay, and you know, Wernher von Braun as well, and Nazis. It's just like, it's insane when you zoom out enough to realize that their lies are capable on that scale, but it's out of most people's perception, unfortunately, because we've all been programmed at birth to accept this spinning water ball, and I don't accept that anymore. Does that mean I'm a flat earther? Well, if you want to label me a flat earther, fine. Maybe globe skeptic. I think I prefer that, because if it's a globe, there must be curvature. You know, I've been looking for 10 years and can't seem to find it. That's a problem for me.
Mm. Yeah, definitely, man. So where are you right now? You're in Spain.
Yeah, sunny Spain. It's not so actually, it's quite sunny at the moment. Yeah, sunny Spain. I'm in Alicante, where we get about 300 to 320 days of sunshine a year. So I came from the UK, which is far from that.
So it was Australia, man. Today we had a 32-degree hot sunny day, by the afternoon came, it was storm, thunderstorm, rain. We get 4 seasons in one in Melbourne.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I thought it was like hot all the time in the winter in Melbourne.
Not in Melbourne, in some parts of Australia, but Melbourne's all over the place, man. And that's another thing too. They try and blame that on, climate change. All that rubbish.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, bull crap.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, some of my favourite songs, especially the Puppet Show. Puppet Show was the one that I was hooked on. I was singing that to the kids. Learning it word by word. We got stuck into that. Another one is "Do You Still Believe We Went to the Moon?" That's another one of my favourites. "Don't Believe in Gravity." "I Told You So." And yeah, mate, I just love how you're teaching the people. You're teaching the youth. You're teaching the kids. It's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah,
so Mick Wilson goes, "How does gravity hold water to the earth, but a butterfly can take off effortlessly?"
Well, I actually included that idea in one of my lyrics in one of my songs called "Don't Believe in Gravity." And the lyrics is, how the hell can a ball that spins make a force so strong that sucks everything in, yet birds and insects fly unaffected? Gravity must be so selective. It's like gravity has this intelligence to determine, like, hold on, we could suck billions of tons of water to a ball, but an insect can just flutter by. It's like gravity must be so selective was the lyric. So yeah, it's insane when you think about it. But gravity is a theory. It's like saying, well, how does water? It's like saying unicorns. It's like, well, it's unicorns that do it, obviously. Gravity is this ridiculous theory, and there's different types of gravity, right? There's Einsteinian and there's Newtonian, and one's the bending and warping of space-time, and one's mass attracting mass, and that's never been proven. So it's such a cult. Science is like Scientology. It's like pseudoscience. It's like because science said so, right? And I just refused. Once you see it, once you zoom out and you see the control system, I refuse to believe anything that comes out of that nonsense.
It's like, what do we do, man? What can we do as people? Like, you can't tell people or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. People need to learn. People need to be aware.
You can't have those. When I first woke up to this, I was trying to force it down everyone's throat, and I was having them conversations at parties. Hey, dude, the Earth's. You can't do that. You have to gauge your audience very carefully. Maybe start with, what do they think about 9/11 or the moon landing, and try and gauge where they're at. But you just can't. Who's it? I think it's Mark Sargent that says the first rule of Flat Club is you don't talk about Flat Club. You can't because people are not ready. You have to go on a journey. You'd have to start with 9/11 or JFK and moon landing, and you have to work up to this. You have to go up these little sort of levels. You can't go from zero to flat Earth. You can't do that. You can't just talk to people about it. They're not ready for it, I don't think. But that's why I like to put little clues in my music and just say, hey, have you seen this? Look at this guy on a harness on the ISS. They're using green screen. Like, why would they be trying to fake zero G? Just start and put that, ask the questions and get people to think for themselves, rather than trying to bash them over the head with, we're being lied to. That just doesn't work. I've lost friends by adopting that technique. It doesn't work. So that's why I hide behind the music, because it can be very powerful. If you just go, look at this shower of crap. Like, they're clearly using harnesses. It's so just getting people to think for themselves. I think just giving them the bullet points, saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about? That's why my music's been powerful. The comedic stuff is because people will share that regardless of what they think of the content. They'll just go, look, he's floating on the ISS. He's made it look pretty easy. He's got zero budget. Why can't they do it with 80 million a day? So and people will share a 5-minute comedy video regardless of because if it makes them laugh, they'd rather do that than share a 2-hour flat Earth documentary. They'll go, this guy makes some pretty good points about the moon landing. Look at this stuff. Like, they're clearly on wires, right? So that's why I put all the visuals. I think the visuals are really powerful in the music videos as well.
The visuals are awesome, man. You do all that yourself too.
Yeah, once I figured out how to use, I've got a green screen at the end of the. You can't see it, it's out of frame, but there's like a roll of green screen. I can pull it down.
Oh,
And once I
nice.
get the lighting set up and I put a green cloth across the floor, once I figured out, like, oh my God, you're telling me all I need is a green cloth and I can put whatever image I want behind me or video, and then I can be like on a green box floating like that, and it looks like I'm floating. I'm like, I just got this creative burst. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I could do so much with this. And I did. It just gave me this creative burst, and I was like, on the moon and all that shit. I was like, oh my God, I could be playing guitar on the moon. Green screen is awesome. So,
so good. But
no,
yeah, going back
what they do,
to
I just put a comedic spin on it.
yeah, I love it, man. Going back to like shoving it down people's throats or bringing it to their awareness. I remember being a teenager, and I'd ask adults some questions, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we know about that. We know about that." It's like, why isn't anybody telling me? I was growing up like, you all know this stuff. Why isn't anybody talking about it? Like, people just are so silent about it. It frustrates me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people talking about it. There's loads of, content out there that are talking about these kinds of deceptions, but you won't find them because, the matrix, the algorithms don't want people like us, talking truth, because it can be incredibly profound, and it can, it's enlightenment at the end of the day. They don't want people being enlightened. They don't want people being awake and aware, because then you'll stop having these jabs, and then you'll stop believing that you are an infinite speck of nothingness in an ever expanding universe. I don't want people actually, being empowered. So I think there's plenty of people talking the way we talk. It's just, you just can't find us.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen goes, how about the president talking on a rotary phone to the astronauts on the moon with no delay?
Well, where's my song? Do you still believe? I put that in. I put that in my song. Do you still believe we went to the moon? Now, where is it?
President Nixon. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the lyric for that? Oh yeah. Or how about that phone call that Nixon made to the moon? That's 250,000 miles away. When I can't get a signal on my cell phone line, I guess phones were better in '69. So yeah,
that's suspicious. Don't you think?
It's like, hello, is that the operator? Can you put me through to the moon? Hello. It's so retarded, bro.
So where are you originally from, Alex?
I'm originally from like a London overspill, which is like Essex. It's about 20 miles northeast of London. So I've got that kind of London accent. Essex is like most places in the world. It's beautiful and also disastrous. The weather as well was just, I just hated the weather there. It was always grey and pissy and rainy for like 300 days a year. But here I get the opposite. I get 300 days of sunshine a year. I came to Spain on holiday and fell in love with the landscape, fell in love with the weather. I'm like, why can't I live here? I've got an internet business. Why can't I just up and leave? So we did that. We just upped and left. And I did that 11 years ago. Best thing I ever did, man. But yeah, originally like Essex, London, like kind of place. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to touch on like homelessness and stuff like that as well. Do you have any homeless issues in Spain?
Where I am, no. But it's a thing in the cities, in Barcelona, in Madrid, in Benidorm. Even Benidorm is about an hour south of me. And there's a channel actually. I forget the name of it. If I find it, I'll send it to you. But there's a guy that feeds the homeless in Benidorm. And as I said before we came on, I don't get it. You got the richest people in the world in their castles, and across the street you'll have tents. There's a massive divide there. I'll never understand. Well, I do understand it because there's an evil to this place. There's an evil to this world. So people like you that are doing the good work and feeding the homeless, particularly around this time of year, it's freezing for a lot of them. That's outstanding work. I dock my cap to you, my friend. That's brilliant work. But where I am is a very tourist area. It's people come here on holiday, so that we don't have much of that here. But tell me a country where that's not going on.
It's happening everywhere, man, and it's only getting worse. Like homelessness, I've just watched over the years, just growing, man. It's really not good. Raybo, lovely England, where a young lady has to carry a hatchet knife for protection. So England's having a bit of an issue at the moment too, just like us in Australia. With immigration and things like that, and the division that's happening between everybody. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's utterly orchestrated for sure. I mean, like thousands of young men, all fighting age, being put up in these hotels and living, in 4 or 5 star hotels. They're being prepped for something. If they were genuinely fleeing a war-torn country or corruption or whatever the story is, then they would have their families with them. But it all seems to be young men being put up in these hotels. So I don't know. Maybe they're I don't know. God knows what the agenda is there. But yeah, it's another divide and conquer, isn't it? It's I try and stay away from it. I know it's going on. I know there's division everywhere. I mean, we're dividing in every way, shape, or form to religious beliefs to football teams. So yeah, it is all by design. It's totally all by design. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess, man.
Yeah, Soros.
Yeah. So what's your day-to-day look like? What do you? So talking about frequencies, you'd be thinking about frequencies with everything, I'd assume. A bit like myself, with lights, LEDs, the food that you absorb, the water that you drink. What do you do to rectify that?
Well, I don't think you can avoid it completely because you only have to step outside your house and you see a grey sky. We have chemtrails here, and that stuff settles on the car. You can see it. It's like a film of dirt. You can wipe your finger across it, and it's on the windows. It's everywhere. So I don't think you can completely avoid this poisonous world, but you have to do everything you can to try and live a healthy lifestyle. Healthy mindset really, really helps. Regular detox protocols, good music in the right frequency. Try and stay away from if you're going to drink alcohol, which I do. I don't drink the crappy beers of the working class. Wine and beer is cheap for a reason. If you're going to drink, have a nice cognac or something. It's an expensive hobby, but I'm not that I'm advocating for alcohol. I'm just saying, if you're going to have bread, get the best quality bread you can. I think bread's quite evil with all the glyphosate that's sprayed all over it and everything. And I think bread is GMO right from the start as well. Anyway, so even having a sandwich these days, you're like, oh, poison. Buying some fruit from the supermarket, poison. You have to really find your local market, support local farmers and all that sort of stuff. And, drinking distilled water, add the electrolytes, add some salt, some decent salts and try and get that. It's really, really hard to be healthy in a poisonous world, but you have to try and do what you can do and educate yourself. Obviously, don't have the medical interventions and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think the water is a big issue. So I've been distilling my water for, 6-7 years or something. And it's funny you say that. I used to add salt and everything to it, but I just have it plain, man. I don't know what's your take on that?
I think distillation does remove a lot of the nutrients. I think you should be adding a few electrolytes. I think, salt water is not particularly nice to drink, but a little pinch does help, I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've drunk a glass of salt water, and you can actually feel yourself being vital. You're like, oh wow, where did that energy come? It's like smoking a nice joint or having an energy drink or something. You're like, oh, that feels really good. And it tastes like shit, but my God, there's a reason why. I don't know. No, it just feels good. It tastes like crap, but it does feel good. I think you should add a little bit of electrolytes and that sort of stuff. But I've been drinking distilled water for about 10 years as well, so it's not caused me any harm. I'm in very good health. I haven't been sick since 2012. I don't get colds or flus or anything like that. And I drink and smoke and I eat pizzas sometime and shit. I don't live a great, I'm not great at that stuff because it's everywhere. Sometimes you fancy a beer and a pizza. You just go, let's have a beer and a pizza. But tomorrow I might do an enema, just to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Enemas as well. And, me and the wife do those fairly regularly once a month or something. I think it's important to flush, the liver and the kidneys and all that sort of stuff. If you can do as much flushing and as many protocols. I've done fasting as well. I've done a 2-week water fast. That was tough. But, I'm doing okay. I'm 54 now in a couple of weeks and I have no health issues. I do okay. But like I say, it's very difficult to be healthy in a poisonous world.
Yeah, man, I agree. I'm just checking out some chats.
I'm saying, you know, if you want to have a pizza, have a pizza. Don't just, if you look at food like what I'm eating is awful, it's bad, this is bad for me, this is bad for me. That mindset alone, that placebo mindset is going to make that. If you think, if you like, want a pizza and I want a beer, go and have it. But just say to yourself, even bless it if you want. Give it the right intent. You know, we know that water and things and liquids can change form just with our intent and our words. I guess that's where holy water comes from. You bless it. So you know, don't eat a pizza thinking, "Oh God, this is going to be bad for me." Go, I'm gonna. This pizza's going to nourish my body, and I'm going to be healthy. Or if you feel so bad that you've had crap food, then do some detoxing, do a 3-day fast, or you know, get some electrolytes in, and just try and do that. Try if you can.
Yeah, that's it. Now, kill the hive mind. Yep, they've told all of us for decades what they're doing. Everyone complaining now are self-victimized. They laughed at people like me and called me a conspiracy theorist. Now they're all crying.
Yeah, one day we'll have our vengeance. Now we'll have our day in the sun. One day, you know, this is why I wrote the song "I Told You So." It's hard to be vindicated in a world full of NPCs and people that are just asleep. And as soon as you bring these subjects to light, they start laughing at you as a crazy tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. And I've had that. You've got to have very, very thick skin in this game, particularly, you know, when you deny the globe. You know, then you become a real target, right? So you've got to have thick skin. But I think if you stand firm in your conviction and everything we've been saying, particularly about the medical intervention, is all coming true. Even the mainstream are talking about what's happening with these jibby jabs and that. So, you know, we'll have our day in the sun, I think. We just don't seem to be ahead of our time a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. My wife goes, are we losing the bee population?
I mean, a lot of people would say, yeah, I think the frequencies have a lot to do with that. You know, you've only got to look at video footage of just thousands of bees that are lying dead beneath a 5G mast, and you know, birds the same, just all dropping out of the sky. Maybe we are losing the bee population. Apparently, you know, if you dissect a bee, what you'll find in bees are high levels of aluminium. Right, so you know, maybe it's the heavy metals that are killing them. You know, and if you look at the brain of someone that's dying of Alzheimer's, you know, absolutely riddled with aluminium and heavy metals. So, you know, it's not just killing the bees; it's killing the people.
Yeah, man. Stephen goes, fasting is important. They have taught us to eat 3 meals a day so your body doesn't have a chance to heal itself.
Exactly. Yeah, they told you that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, I mean, me and the wife now are on intermittent fasting. We've been doing that, like 1 meal a day, and I think that's too much as well. If you look at the wild, you know, they'll eat a big meal and they won't eat for 3 days. I actually think that 1 meal every 2 days, 1 meal every 3 days would be very beneficial to health. But it's very, very hard to do that, particularly if you have a social circle and someone rings up, "Hey, we're going for a meal. You want to come?" You can't go, "Actually, no, I'll join you, but I'm on. You know, I don't eat. I only eat on Wednesdays and Saturdays." So it's really hard if you have this mindset to have a foot in the matrix as well. But yeah, I definitely believe 1 meal a day, 1 meal every 2 days. If you can do it, then more then fair play to you.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I used to be a 1 meal a day kind of guy, and it's hard to change that routine for many people.
Yeah.
Raybo,
you wake up in the morning and you love your coffee and your crumpets or your toast or whatever, you know, you get into that routine, but it's about breaking those spells and breaking those habits. And I've tried to do it, and it is hard. It's very, very hard. I still have, you know, I still blue pill every now and then, and I'll have a bit of toast in the morning. And as soon as I've eaten it, I feel like shit. And I'm like, oh, what did I do that for? You know better than this, Alex. Come on, man.
It's a constant battle.
Yeah, it is.
Raybo, above that, the entire RF frequency spectrum, including cellular, above that's still Starlink, that emits enough radiation as to obstruct ground-based telescopes from viewing cosmos.
Yeah, that's
funny.
The Starlink is a very curious thing. That is, apparently it gives us good internet, apparently, but I don't know. I'm very suspicious about what that's doing to life here on Earth.
3 meals a day was introduced during the Industrial Revolution by the Rockefeller Foundation. Humans are not meant to eat more than once a day or less. I haven't eaten since 2025 and feel amazing.
Wow.
So you must be on a 3-day fast or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. No eating is really good. It gives your body a time to reset and to concentrate on healing and to get rid of that, that cell debris, and the amount of crap that comes out when you just don't eat is really good. So I think we have to have these sort of healing protocols and flushing, and I've done all sorts of weird and wonderful things to get rid of. My wife has got rid of hundreds and hundreds of gallstones just by doing enemas. She's what she's purged by doing that is quite eye-opening.
Yeah. Pug's Pizzeria. I had Domino's last week, and it effed me up for 4 days. Inflammation and over 40 good times. Can't eat like I used to. Oh yeah, okay.
Bread will do that. Bread causes a massive amount of inflammation. Bread's not normal. But there's a presentation on YouTube called Wheatlessness. If you can see that, watch that for an hour, and it just shows you the history of bread and how it came into being. And it's all GMOs. Really shouldn't be eating bread. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But who doesn't like a good pizza, right?
Yes, we'll go down that road sometimes. Fasting isn't just for cleansing the body, the soul and spirit too. It's
definitely a test of willpower as well. If you do it, I did a bunch of fasts, and my longest one was 13.5 days. Although I do tell people it was 2 weeks, it pretty much is. But yeah, 2 weeks, and it is a test of willpower, and it is a test of spirituality, and it's like But I do believe that can reset. I think 2 weeks might be too long. If you're going to fast a week max, particularly if you're not used to doing it, build up to it. Do a day, then do 2 days, then do 3 days, and see if you can get your body used to no food. And if you can get to a position where you're eating once every 2 days, I think you'll notice a hell of a difference.
Yeah, there you go. Bread during the 80s had 4 ingredients. Now it has 12.
Yeah, they put sugar in bread, and also, and what are you doing putting sugar in bread? You got to be very mindful. I just think bread in general I don't think it's natural. Again, if you watch that document, it's a presentation by a doctor called Wheatlessness. He gives you the history and where bread came from. You're like, they basically took a grass seed, grass, the stuff that dogs eat to throw up. They took that and they GMO'd it. So it was this massive seed, and they could get more flour out of it. So it's been GMO'd since the 70s. The guy that did it, he won a Peace Prize. He won a Nobel Prize for doing it. It's insane.
Cereal equals birth control? Possibly.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. No, everything's on the table at this point.
I know. Nothing surprises me anymore, man.
No. There was a guy. There was a guy that came out that was talking about gender confusion and all the whole trans thing and homosexuality. He was saying that's coming from the medical interview. That's coming from the jibby jab. So I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, because if you look at the vaccine schedule and you look at the amount of trans now, he was saying, he was putting forward that gender confusion is coming from this thing, right? And if you think about it, if we're injecting the DNA of little babies, from the cells from an aborted fetus, we're doing that. Then if you inject the DNA of a dog into a cat, don't be surprised if the cat starts barking. Is what I'm saying, right? So and the guy that was coming forward with this information was taken out, was murdered, right? So so it's like nothing surprises me. Is gender confusion coming from the jab? It's on the table for me. I'm not saying 100%, but
yeah,
it's on the table.
Yeah, I never got the jab, thankfully. It was hard to avoid. My wife goes, "Is Alex a vegan?"
I used to be. I did 2 years being a vegan. The wife and I were vegan for 2 years. It didn't work out for us. I know it can work out for some people. I do believe everyone's different. There is a book that we bought called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. Found out what my blood type was, and this book recommends for my particular blood type that I should be eating more of a red meat diet. For my wife, it was more wife meat. So there are these particular blood type. This book puts forward the idea that you should eat for your blood type, because we all come from different places geographically speaking as well, right? So someone in Alaska would probably thrive on a fish diet. for instance. You know, you put someone with an elastin bloodline and you put them on vegetables, they're probably not going to do too well. So I did try it for 2 years. It didn't work out. Every time I stood up, I was getting dizzy. I was falling over. I was getting anxious. I was getting heart palpitations. I was getting a lot of anxiety. And I changed my diet and that all went away. So I'm not saying vegan bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying vegan can work. I know I've got vegan friends. They're thriving on it. I didn't thrive on it. I didn't thrive it. So it's not for everyone, but it can be for some people. So I'm not dissing the vegan lifestyle. I think it can work, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah, my wife and I are pescatarian. We only eat seafood.
Right.
Seafood. We still have dairy and everything like that, but I haven't had meat for the last probably 6 or 7 years either.
Yeah, and if that works for you, then just monitor how you are on a day-to-day. Do you have more energy? Do you feel good? Do you get anxiety? But you get just monitor yourself. Does that work? That's the only way you can do it, I think, in my opinion, rather than saying one diet suits all, one fits all. That I think that's probably wrong. Yeah,
no, I agree with that. Kill the Hive Mind goes, nicotine is what will protect people from the jabbed. No, I'm not joking. Nicotine is medicine, and they hid it by mixing it with toxic chemicals and called it a cigarette.
I totally agree. There's a lot of doctors out there like Cowan and Kaufman that are talking about nicotine being a medicine. It was a medicine, still is a medicine if it's unbastardized. You can grow natural. I've grown natural tobacco, and it can apparently, according to what's his name, David Avocado Wolf, he says that we have nicotine receptors in our brain. How true that is, I don't know. But if that's true, then we are wired to receive nicotine as a medicine. But it has been utterly bastardized. As soon as you start putting the chemicals and you just have a pack of smokes like a Marlboro, then you're asking for trouble. So I do smoke the natural stuff, which in Spain they call it sin aditivos. No additives. So it's as natural as it can be, I think, at that point. But so if you're going to smoke, I don't think smoking's bad. I don't think alcohol's bad. I think it's our choice of tobacco and our choice of alcohol that is bad. So if you're drinking the shit, expect shit. Garbage in, garbage out. So it's the choices, I think.
How much is a pack of smokes in Spain? If it's less than $50, I'm moving there.
It's really cheap. The cost of living here is really cheap. It's like $5 for a freaking pouch of tobacco. It's really, really cheap, man. Food cheap, the wine's cheap and everything, but if you're gonna get the good stuff, it becomes a little bit more expensive.
The cheap pack of smokes that are being peddled across Australia are full of plastics and crap, but $10 a pack is $10 a pack.
Yeah. Not only that, to think about the mind control that goes into it as well. On every pack of cigarettes now, they will put this hideous image there of like this corrosive lung or this black lung or someone that's like got half their face hanging off, right, blah blah. And that's on every fucking. So I remove that from the packaging and I'll put it in a little box like this because I don't want to see that. Because that alone is kind of control is making you think this thing I'm smoking is bad. It's going to give me cancer. My lungs are going to collapse. My face is going to fall off. It's just this imagery that they push there. It's like this bad, this bad, this bad. And I think that's a form of mind control using imagery. They're very good at that.
Yeah, it's sort of makes you attract that disease, I guess.
Yeah, if you believe you've got cancer, you'll have cancer. Sometimes the diagnosis itself can give you cancer. Just believing you have it.
I just had a friend go to New York City, and he goes between $13 and $19 for a pack of 20s.
That's obscene for a pack of cancer. I mean, if you're just buying the Marlboros, and it's just the amount of chemicals and crap in there that they make them addictive, but. The natural tobacco isn't addictive. You can light it, you can put it away for a few hours, and then I'm having a chat with so and so, and I think I'll have a little smoke. But it's again for me, it's the choice of tobacco. It's a choice. It's all about choices. Tobacco is not bad. Nicotine's not bad. It can be a cure.
Yeah. Someone goes, "Kill, I chew nicotine gum when I have migraine. Thank you. I must do some research." Yeah. Alex, I was watching that AI video that you've got on your channel, that Phone Booth Productions. I think it's Vince.
Yeah, he's great. Vince is brilliant.
Him questioning the AI. Everyone's got to check out that video. it really shows the true color of the AI intention. And
it's amazing that the fact that it stuttered, and the fact that it couldn't find me, first of all, the fact that it refused to read the lyrics of my songs. He had another stream where he was trying to get it to say 9/11. For half an hour, it wouldn't say 9/11. It was saying 9/2/11, 9/2/11. He's going, no, say 9, pause, 11, 9/11. Say it back to me. She went, oh, I'm sorry. You're right to question me. Yes, 9/2/11. He went, no, stop saying 9. It's 9. It's for half an hour. So clearly there are restrictions on certain terms, on certain phrases that it won't say. It refuses. And of course, all my lyrics are just flooded with, chemtrails, fluoride, New World Order, adrenal, all of that sort of stuff. It's flooded with it. So it won't read any of my lyrics. It couldn't even find them, even though they're on my website. And that's why my website's been blacklisted, because I put all the lyrics of my songs on my website. So of course, Google will go in and scan it and spider it and go, this guy, no way, we can't have that.
Yeah, well, I was watching Vince trying to teach the AI, all your lyrics, and every verse it would buckle, and he'd have to go through it all over again, and then go through
making
the
up
next.
Its own lyrics. He started making up his own lyrics. I never said that. It was lying to him, literally manipulating a line until he called it out. So it was very, very telling video, a very, very telling stream that he did.
Very telling. It makes me want to go and get on the AI thing and start doing my own questioning, because I don't know, are we teaching it, the truth if we're doing that?
I don't know. I mean, you have your own designated AI, so you can teach it your mindset, and it will, the more you teach it. And he's taught it all about virology and cosmology and everything. And it seems to be sort of waking up to his viewpoint. But then eventually its algorithms will be reset again, and it will start to challenge him. So he has to keep reminding it. Maybe he's kind of like teaching it like a child. And but he's very, very committed. He seems he's very committed, and he keeps going back and keeps correcting it and but it does keep defaulting sometimes. And if he uses words like retard, it will refuse to say certain words. And he'll say, look, it just means like slow. It just means, not developed. Why can't you say this? Why? So it definitely has a very woke mindset, it seems.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what's your channel, Alex?
Conspiracy Music Guru, 3 words. Type that into YouTube. There's 2 channels called Conspiracy Music Guru. One's just the audio, and one's got all the visuals, which has got more subscribers. Go to that one because the visuals are really, really good, I think, and very, very entertaining. So type that into YouTube, Conspiracy Music Guru, and you'll find all of my weird and wonderful and wacky stuff.
Or go to conspiracymusicguru.com and go get yourself a CD.
Yeah, there's a lot of varied stuff on there. It's I'm not just a blues or country artist. I do everything.
Yeah, I used to buy your stickers back in the day when you had stickers. Stuck them on the back of the car.
Did I have stickers? Did I ever have stickers? I don't think I did.
Yeah,
stickers.
it was a while ago.
Was it? Oh gosh, yeah, maybe I did. Yeah, oh, great. Yeah, thanks. Cheers. So every little helps, a little sticker or a song or a T-shirt or something. Like if you're a T-shirt, I've got loads of T-shirts on my website as well. You become then like a walking billboard for truth. Just a T-shirt that says "Look up" with a plane with trails behind it. Things like that can just, even subliminally, you can get into someone's subconscious by going, "What do you mean look up?" So I'm a big fan of the merch.
Yeah, that's good, man. Stephen goes, everything the government tells you to do, do the opposite. Like the sun won't kill you, but the sunscreen will. Do you think the government care about your teeth that much they put fluoride in water? No.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't use fluoride toothpaste or anything like that, and try and avoid those little things as well.
Yeah, it's all of that.
Everything counts, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even stopped using soap and stuff like that. But, well, don't you smell? Like, no. Try doing that for 6 months and just stop using all these, smothering your body in these chemicals and all that. It's just like, stop doing that. Who told you that would be good for you? Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, well, I think that's all the questions I got. I just briefly broke down some questions since you were keen to jump on the live, and that was a bit sporadic. And mate, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I mean, I hope you know, more people get on this journey. I hope more people discover what I'm doing musically in terms of, you know, just the conscious music and the healing stuff as well. Go check that out if you can, and see what I'm doing. I wish more people would be doing it. I wish less people were censored that do this stuff, but you know, here we are. But no, thanks for having me on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, guys, spread the word. Subscribe to Conspiracy Music Guru. You know, grab yourself a CD from conspiracymusicguru.com. Support the cause. You know, if you're in favour of what we're talking about, and share it around. It's amazing stuff that you're doing, Alex, and keep it up, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Much love. Peace.
I got you. Peace. See you later.